Wake up in the morning. Wake up, Atlanta. It's time for coffee. Talk presented by Spotify. Fresh vibes, real talk.
Let's get started, shall we?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. Welcome. And you guys see it on the screens. It's not April Fools. We're not fooling y'all. Welcome to the brand new set, the brand new radio station here at K.L.P. Entertainment Filmworks. I call this Studio Latte. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the new set of Coffee Talk presented and powered by Spotify. You see it in the back behind me, the set and the logo and the mural that's on the back here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we've been cooking up within the last few days. When we started this show, I knew that this show was going to be a winner. I knew that this show was going to be receiving some great updates. And the studio is one of the greatest updates that we've been working on. Something simple, something easy, but something that's more appealing to the eyes. So I kind of tricked everybody because everybody knows that we had the other radio stations to which we still own that studio down the hall. We still own it, but this room was something that we've been building up on, and it's been a minute. We had to get the pieces right. We had to get the mics and all the things in this room correct before we debuted it. Um, I'm really happy about this set. This is a new set from K.L.P. Entertainment Filmworks. When Spotify loves the show that we're doing, we have to invest in our sets. That's just one of the things we've got to invest into. I get very, very stoic, and I'm very, very excited to premiere this new set for you guys. Hopefully, you guys love it. I call this Studio Latte. You guys know the vibes. We got more of an orangey feel when it comes down to in here, and we hope that you guys love it. It's just going to be something spectacular that I've been working on. I've been doing it really, really well. So again, if you guys watching the video version of this podcast, you can see it. Of course, and I've probably tweeted and Instagrammed about it last night. And to everybody that's tuned in for early access, by the way, Instagram and LinkedIn, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. We love to see it. We love to see everyone tune in. Early access tonight when you get ready for it. And then, of course, if you missed us on the live stream, that's perfectly fine. You guys can watch us the next day at 8 a.m. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, welcome back to another exciting coffee talk. Like I mentioned, we hope that you guys have had a fantastic Monday. Guys, don't miss out. Yesterday, we did another new episode of what had happened was with me and Evelyn on yesterday's episode. Again, you guys don't want to miss it. Please tune in, enjoy, watch us. It's going to be very, very exciting for more episodes to come out. So we hope that you guys, enjoy the podcast episodes we got cooking up. And then on Sunday, we did the Lucas Tribune podcast. Of course, Marcus, he talked about the latest from Apple and the newest MacBook Neo that came out or has been released. Of course, available on pre-order for right now. So again, very, very excited for another exciting podcast. Of course, on this show, this morning's episode, we've got Rachel and Sarah and Hope and Emma Johnson's back on the show too. So we've got a pack show for you guys when it comes down to it. I do want to say this because I think I said this on what had happened was, and I'm gonna say it, Hope and audience, to everybody. Please, 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 if you are out right now, this week is spring break. It's been feeling good. Yesterday, I rode with the top down. I went to the gym. A lot of people are traveling. I do say to a lot of people, please, 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 please stay safe. I know a lot of people are traveling outside of Atlanta. Some of my friends are in Florida and either Pensacola or Miami. Some people went to Tennessee. Some people even went to California for spring break. Again, all of you guys out there, if you have left Atlanta for spring break, please be careful, stay safe, stay hydrated. Watch out for crazy people out there because there are crazy people out there. So I gotta bring that out, ladies and gentlemen, because I know I want everybody to be extremely, extremely safe when it comes down to being out there. When it comes down to traveling for spring break, I know a lot of people ask me, hey, wait, Kennedy, what you doing for spring break? I am here to say I'm here, still in Atlanta, podcasting for y'all, giving y'all a radio show each and every day. My vacation really won't start until May. I'm going to Cancun in May for my birthday. That's where my vacation will start because we just got so much to do. So I wanted to talk about this thing that I started back doing. And usually on the podcast, sometimes I like to be a little bit newsy, but sometimes on the morning show, I like to talk about experiences that I've had. Now, if you guys know, this past weekend, it was a great weekend. Had a good workout session to which I'll do a read about Crunch Nilville or Crunch in general in a minute. But I have started the train and I've been on it because a lot of podcasters, a lot of radio people, our latest conversation, ladies and gentlemen, has been on Xbox, right? We all know, I think I did this a couple episodes back where we did a lot of news coverage of Xbox getting some new leadership. I'm a little skeptical about the leadership. We'll see what it happens. So I ended up getting Game Pass again. Yes, the $30 price tag. Yes, I know. I get it. I know a lot of people's like, hey, you bought that for $30. I wanted to see if Xbox have increased their frame drops or if they made a difference in their Xbox Game Pass. Now, I do gotta say, because I was skeptical about it. I was a little nervous when it come down to it. I do got to say this though. I ended up, of course, getting Game Pass. And Game Pass kind of got me intrigued. Do I think Game Pass should still be $30? No. But I find myself doing a test run for Game Pass. And I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed 3 remastered. A lot of people want to know what is my favorite Assassin's Creed game of all. I gotta say, Assassin's Creed 3 is my favorite because I like that you're getting to explore. So first of all, Kenway, what's his last name? Hathaway. I probably got the name wrong. The main person you play as, I like his character. I like the development. And I like the storytelling of Assassin's Creed 3. And of course, I know a lot of people may not like it. You're telling the story of American history. So, of course, you got Charles Lee portrayed in this video game. You got Benjamin Franklin portrayed in this game. You got George Washington portrayed in the game. So, I really like it where Assassin's Creed 3, you get to have real life American people into a video game. I think that's the coolest thing ever. So that's why I got to say Assassin's Creed 3 is my favorite. They remastered it. And at first, I understood the frame drops. Now, it's funny because I have my Xbox controller and I've been playing Game Pass on my MacBook. I know it's weird. It's a weird setup. I get it. You're supposed to have an Xbox or a Windows PC to get the best of the best. Of course, I don't have a Xbox. I do have an Xbox at my house, but it broke. It no longer is in commission. I do have two Windows computers, but we utilize that for work. And when you run a company, you don't really want to use a work computer for pleasure. You got to be careful about those kind of things. So we don't really use those. So I end up using my MacBook. And I was going through and I was kind of going through the Xbox Game Pass on Microsoft. And I get why people had the frame drop. So again, I Googled it. And it is preferred that if you are using Game Pass, try using first, it's very good if you use an Xbox console. Or if you use a Windows PC, you're going to have the best of the best, right? You're not going to have less frame drops. And of course, if you plug in your Ethernet to get the best, at my house we don't really do that. We have wireless, we have Wi-Fi. That's just how my house is set up. So I ended up downloading Microsoft Edge, and then I've started to play Assassin's Creed 3, and believe it or not, Star Wars Squadron. I know I did a review on that game. I started to play again, and I genuinely enjoy it. I really do. I've been playing it this whole throughout the weekend, and when you find yourself playing a game a lot more than usual, you tend to want to play it, you tend to want to get into it, and I got into it. I really do enjoy it. I really do enjoy the style of it, and the where you're a pilot and you're flying around either on the X-wing or the Imperial ship, depending on the story or the mission. Rather, I enjoy it. I really, really enjoy the most out of that Star Wars Squadron, and it's been very, very fun to play. And I haven't seen any frame drops from the Microsoft Edge browser. So maybe that's something that they're catering to. Maybe there's something that they're catering to. There's quite a few games that they added to Game Pass. So I'm giving Game Pass kind of another shot because I always like to have something new to play, and games that I haven't played in a very long time or have never played, I'm going to play it. Um, I can't wait to see because Arsha Shwarma, she's the new head of Xbox now. We all know this. She's getting ready to go on this event where she's going to talk about the future of gaming. I gotta say, I do want Game Pass and price to come down. That's what I think is what's missing with Game Pass is, when it first came out, it was $10 a month and it was very affordable to a lot of people, and you got the much of a value from it. Now it's $30 a month. And now there's games in there that on the platform that I like to play that I'm going to rock with, but I feel like some people will feel like Game Pass is still missing some stuff. So I hope that they have a chance. I hope that they had their moments where they can change up some things when it comes down to that as well. I look forward to seeing what happens when it comes down to it. But shout out to Xbox. I mean, I hope this reconstruction, I hope this thing happens when it comes down to the change of Xbox. I just hope that this really gets it going, and we just have to wait and see what happens when it comes down to it. Now, speaking of course, culture that I mentioned earlier, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. By the way, if you're just now joining us, we are Coffee Talk presented by Spotify here in downtown Atlanta, Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 radio stations. I wanted to talk about this sort of review, and I got to pick on one of my favorite artists, right? Because he had this new EP that came out, and I got to say, big shout out to Ty Dolla Sign first and foremost, because Ty Dolla Sign, he's one of those R&B artists that I've been listening to for years, right? I remember Beach House 1, 2, and 3, right? His latest new big album that came out was very good. He's been on a lot of features, right? I like the one gospel song he did with Lecrae, right? Ty Dolla Sign has been on the up and up when it comes down to this R&B bag. But Ty Dolla Sign, if you're somehow watching us this morning, I gotta pick on you. Because Ty Dolla Sign released a new EP album. It's called Girl Music. And this is the definition, because I've watched a lot of podcasters, a lot of music enthusiasts, even the Joe Budden podcast I've watched. And I kind of agree with, I think Parks said that he didn't like this album because it was just kind of lazy. I listened to this album yesterday on my way from work to the gym with my top down because I wanted to get some sunshine in, and I really wanted to get into it, and I really am hopeful for R&B artists. But damn it, Ty Dolla Sign, I think you phoned this one in. I really do. I tried to like it. I tried to get into some of these songs because I know Ty Dolla Sign has the appeal and has the audience and had the drive to go and want to do more. I do. I'm a firm believer in Ty Dolla Sign wanting to do more with his artistry and his music. But boy howdy, I gotta say, I think he phoned this one in, right? I think a lot of R&B artists, there's a plethora of R&B artists nowadays that they're phoning some things in, and it's not a good look, right? Because you have the money, you have the star power, you have the will, you have your lyrics, you have your voice to really want to do more. Now, the one song I did like, it was him and Leon Thomas. That song is okay. I think Leon Thomas is on the up and up, right? He's trying to get on many of these big artists as he because Leon Thomas, he's on a roll right now, right? He had this album called, but he's on and up. He just won a few Grammys a few months back. He's on the up and up. He's going to make sure he's going to hop on some of these features. I get Leon Thomas's business model, but with Ty Dolla Sign, You're way too talented. And I hope he's watching this show. Ty Dolla Sign, you are way too talented to not give your all in these R&B bags. Now, Beach House 3 is one of my favorites, right? I think about you all the time. Time. He's in his bag when he sings all the time, right? This one, I think I, I think Ty Dolla Sign tried to go more slow and melancholy and melodic and have the melodies in there, hope an audience. But I don't think this is his bag. I think it's the upscale R&B is what Ty Dolla Sign does best in. And I want to see more. I want to see more of this. I want to see more of Ty Dolla Sign being on the up and up when it comes down to his music and his craft. I think a lot of R&B artists right now they're just trying to spit something out. And I don't even want to say spit something out to stay relevant. I won't go there. But a lot of these R&B artists that are phoning things in and it's not the greatest, right? Because this past week we had a lot of releases from trash, like just artists that are so good and so talented, they're just throwing slapping shit together and calling it a hit. Let me tell you, that's not how you do it, right? Take your time on your projects. And I'm just a music critic. I'm just a wholehearted music critic. Obviously, I've had a couple of albums out myself. A lot of people said they hated Crown Me Savage too. A lot of people didn't like Nala Monroe's album that I produced for her. Right? We're gonna have people that's not gonna like everything. But if I had Ty Dolla Sign money, oh yeah, how many R&B artists can I get on this album? How many artists? How many songs can we write and create together and it be a hit? That's what I want to see Ty Dolla Sign do, and along with all the other artists. Ty Dolla Sign again. I had to pick on you a little bit. I don't think this is your best work because I know Ty Dolla Sign could do better. I really do. But shout out to him as an artist. Shout out to him. He's had a lot of great hits now. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think that this one was, really in his bag. And I don't think that this was a winner in my opinion. I think he just kind of slapped it together because it was just something that he needed to do. It's just one of those things that it just doesn't work well when it comes down to Ty Dolla Sign because we know Ty Dolla Sign could do better. Ty Dolla Sign could be in his bag. Ty Dolla Sign could give us what we need, right? But shout out to him. Shout out to him. Now, as I mentioned, I was listening to Ty Dolla Sign's latest album on the way to the gym. Let me tell you guys something very, very special. Of course, springtime is here, ladies and gentlemen. We do hope that everyone stays safe this spring break. But a lot of people that I've seen yesterday, and I'm probably going to see it today because today's Tuesday and today's a gym session day after the show. A lot of people have not opted out of not going to the gym on spring break. I know a lot of people are on vacation, but a lot of people are getting it in, and I'm very, very excited to do this. Is not an ad read, first and foremost. Crunch Gym corporates, they're not paying me to do this, but I wanted to do this shout out because I always like to shout out Crunch because it is something that's very spectacular. Let me tell you, when you step out, and again, I got my car, I got a convertible, so my top is down. I'm listening to it, and I've been seeing, and a lot of people been saying to me in the gym or out in personally. One of my good friends that I know, Lena, shout out to you, Lena. She noticed that I'm getting more swoller, I'm getting more muscular. Evelyn said the same thing when we did our show yesterday. She said, Kennedy, you looking good, right? Something has changed within you. And let me tell you what changed. Going to the gym, staying consistent. And let me tell you, I'm just here to say to a lot of people out there if you have not found a gym that gets you right, we're not talking about Planet Fitness. We're not talking about LA Fitness and all them other players, right? We're talking about Crunch. Crunch Gym. Now, of course, you can try them. The pricing for a membership starts at $9.99. Let me tell you something. $9.99. That's very inexpensive for a membership for a gym that gets you right. And I'm just not. I'm just a big fan of Crunch. Let me tell you, you get good results. You really do get good results. Back in 10 years ago, I used to be this puffy, chubby kid, and now look at me now. I'm gaining the muscle, I'm losing the weight, and I'm feeling my best self because I've been going to that gym. And I just got to say it. Of course, their membership starts at $9.99. They got 500 plus locations worldwide. And they just announced two new locations, one new location in Stone Mountain and another location far south of Atlanta. Is going to be very fantastic. Of course, they do have promotions where you can get a free gym pass. Try them out, and then you're going to want to subscribe to their 9.99, their $10 a month subscription. Now, personally, for me, I pay the $21 because you can go to any crunch in the state of Georgia. I get to use a little bit extra. I If you're in the Gwinnett location area, because we drive down from Atlanta, again, I go to that one because the Snellville location is fantastic. All the trainers are very, very awesome. I like to give a shout out to every trainer that works at Snellville because they continue to prevail in great customer service. And I know I'm going to be a cheerleader for them at Snellville. I'm going to be a cheerleader for Crunch in general. I tag them. I know they probably getting tired of me tagging them and talking about them a lot, but it's just something that just does it. They just does it right. They just do it right. The spring season is out. A lot of ladies up in there getting their body rights for the springtime, summertime. Again, they're getting ready for sundress season. For a lot of ladies, they're doing their work exercise, and a lot of gentlemen that are in the gym, they're getting their bodies right. They're getting swole, right? Because they're trying. It's short season, right? Yeah, I'm working on my legs right now too. It's short season, and long and behold, before you know it, it's going to be summer season. So shout out to Crunch, guys. Subscribe to their membership. Try them out. And let them know if you go to Snellville, let them know that Kennedy Lucas Patterson sent you because it's that's I'm referring them. I'm recommending them in Snellville. But you can go to anyone around in the state of Georgia. Now, before we turn it over to Hope, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to talk about this fun topic because this is something that I think a lot of people will enjoy. Um, so this past weekend, and by the way, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're just now joining us, if you're just now clicking on this part of the show, you're tuned into Coffee Talk, presented and powered by Spotify with our new studio. I call it Studio Latte. We hope that everyone is ready for this set. The set is beautiful, by the way. Thank you guys for K.L.P Entertainment, Filmworks crew members putting this studio set together for us. I love you guys. So I wanted to talk about this real quick before we turn it over to Hope. Um, I've been watching a lot of '90s movies. If you guys know, I'm a big buff when it comes down to '90s movies, and I'm very very excited because I'm a big buff for '90s cartoons. Cartoon Network there, which is very very exciting. Cartoon Network is getting ready to launch a lot of the Cartoon Network old shows to Tubi. If you guys don't know, Tubi is a still upgrowing streaming platform where you can stream TV shows and movies. Of course, I personally have a couple of movies on Tubi. You can watch Street Style and New York Culture, my first ever documentary. Eden Prime, my first ever sci-fi movie, and Street Style 2 is available on Tubi. I'm very, very excited because Cartoon Network, you got Courage the Cowardly Dog, you got Powerpuff Girls, you got Ed, Ed, and Eddie, you got Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and so much other Cartoon Network shows. Dexter's Laboratory, they're going to be on Tubi. Again, I'm about to be 29. Right. And I'm about to be 30. I'm 29. I'm about to be 30 in May. You're never too old to really dabble and watch cartoons, first and foremost. So a lot of people probably going to clown me for this morning. Look, I like my cartoons when I need to. But I'm very, very excited for that. But I'm a big buff when it comes down to '90s movies. And this is not a review because this movie's old, right? But they don't make movies like this movie that I'm about to talk about anymore. And the movie that I watched over the weekend when I just had it was Sunday night after church and after Sunday nights I like to relax a bit. And I flipped on HBO Max. New Line Cinema's The Wedding Crashers. Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn. Not a review because you guys, this is an older movie. You can go watch the movie, but essentially, it's about these two guys, Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn's character. They crash weddings to pick up girls, but they ended up crashing a wedding that they fall in love with the two ladies of the weddings that they crashed, right? And then there's a whole story there. That's short, and sweet, and simple. Again, I won't do a review on a movie like that because it's been out for years, right? But I wanted to say real quick, they don't make comedic movies like this anymore. They just don't. I don't know, it's just the society that we're in. I don't know if it's relating to modern audiences, But when I watched The Wedding Crashers on Sunday, I laughed my living ass off. I never thought Vince Vaughn would be so damn funny in this movie. And I sometimes I like old Vince Vaughn versus new Vince Vaughn, right? Old Vince Vaughn, when he was taller, he was a little bit slimmer. He was a little bit sarcastic, but it was funny. He would talk really fast in this movie. There's this one scene where the girl that he falls in love with that crashed the wedding, she's the crazy kooky girl, tied him up in the bed, and we all know what happens there. And you know, this next scene, the brother Chuck comes in because Chuck likes Vince Vaughn's character, and he's talking real fast, like, "Hey, there's not a moment. Leave me alone." Vince Vaughn's talking really, really fast, and I cracked up on that scene. I don't know why I did. It was just so damn funny. Both of them was funny in this movie. I didn't care so much for Will Ferrell's character in this movie. I felt like they was just like, okay, just to slap him into it. Because again, you got Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn, Bradley Cooper's in this movie, and then Will Ferrell's in the movie. So you got megastars in this movie. I didn't really care too much for Will Ferrell's character. Again, I still don't care. Again, I've seen that movie thousands of times already. But I just wanted to say they don't make movies like that anymore. And I wish they did. Because when you see a comedy movie, hope an audience, those comedy movies, today's comedy movies, it's like, eh, this ain't really funny. Back then, again, you got Wedding Crashers, Dodgeball, Monster in Law, um, Big Fat Greek Wedding, right? Those movies, they just do something to you. That is just, it cracks you up every time. I always say, and I will say this because my time's running out here and I got to switch it over to Hope and everybody else on this morning's show. But watch The Wedding Crashers. You will not be disappointed. I always watch those type of movies, and then I look at this generation. It's like, you guys don't even know what this movie is about. Like, do you know who these actors are? This new generation, and some of them might. And I remember when The Wedding Crashers came out. Yes, I was like a little kid when this movie came out. So I back then I didn't know too much about it. Obviously, as I was growing up, obviously I watched the movie so many times. I know of the movies by hand. I know the characters and whatnot. But boy, howdy, I wish they made movies like that. I wish they made movies like Wedding Crashers and Monster in Law and Dodgeball and those type of movies. American Pie, those movies crack me up every time. I laugh every time I watch the movie. Again, Wedding Crashers available on HBO Max. So I challenge people. I challenge this generation, this new generation, Generation Z, watch all the 90s to early 2000s and late 90s movies and compare it to today's movies and see how different it'll make, right? All right, so I'm going to turn over to Hope with the latest in front page news this morning on Coffee Talk, presented by Spotify, and I'll be back to wrap the show. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Again, continue on. Hope, take it away.
Wake up, y'all!
It is now time for the front page news of the day on Coffee Talk presented by Spotify.
Yeah!
Good morning, Kennedy. Love the new set. And good morning, everyone. Happy spring break. Okay, here's the front page news. I may soon be the next rival of 50 Cent to have his alleged transgressions turned into a documentary. After executive producing a Netflix docuseries on Diddy's history of abuse allegations, it appears the G-Unit mogul is now turning the spotlight on Tip's own checkered past. In a since-deleted Instagram post on Thursday, March 5th, Fifth shared a screenshot of a news headline that read, 50 Cent reportedly developing surviving T.I. and Tiny documentary, seemingly confirming the report. Remember how quiet I got before the Diddy doc? Dame thought I wasn't coming. I hope this doesn't mess up your promo tour, he wrote in the caption, referencing the rollout of T.I.'s upcoming final album, Kill the King. They're going to ask about your 20 sexual assault cases. You might want to talk to a crisis PR person. T.I. has yet to respond. 50 Cent's taunt only escalates the long-simmering tension between himself and T.I., which has reached fever pitch in recent weeks after the Atlanta rap legend once again challenged 50 to a Verzuz battle. Fifth responded by calling Tip King Rat and telling him to keep my name out your mouth, prompting the Grand Hustle General to unleash an onslaught of diss records aimed at his longtime foe. The most bruising of the bunch, the right one, found T.Y. using 50's dead mother and baby mama, Daphne Joy, who later became romantic with Diddy, as ammo. More on Front Page News. One of hip-hop and R&B's most iconic collectives might be making a comeback. Questlove has teased the long-awaited return of the Soulquarians, the soul-steeped movement that he spearheaded in the late 1990s and early 2000s, alongside the likes of D'Angelo and Jay Dilla. During a recent episode of his podcast, The Questlove Show, the longtime Roots drummer and award-winning filmmaker revealed plans for a stripped-down Soulquarians comeback featuring the few original members that are left, including himself, R&B legend Bilal, and acclaimed producer / multi-instrumentalist James Poyser. James Poyser, myself, Bilal, the fragments that are left of the Soulquarians. We spoke. The family's going to get back together, he said. Questlove added that since the deaths of Prince and D'Angelo in 2016 and 2025, respectively, he feels pressure to see the mission through of keeping thoughtful, analog-driven music alive. Now that D'Angelo is not here, I feel that responsibility more than ever, he shared. It's unclear if other living Soulquarians such as Erykah Badu, Common, Q-Tip, and Yasin Bey, formerly known as Mos Def, will be involved. Headquartered at Jimi Hendrix's famed Electric Lady Studios in New York City, the original Soulquarians movement birthed a whole wave of classic hip-hop and R&B albums that remain hugely influential to this day. Between 1999 and 2002, the lineup of like-minded left-of-center creatives came together to produce masterpieces like D'Angelo's Voodoo, Erykah Badu's Mama's Gun, and Common's Like Water for Chocolate. In my head, it was this utopian paradise I had always envisioned, the native tongues movement recreated. Questlove wrote of the Soulquarians in his 2013 memoir, Mo Meta Blues. However, things began to fall apart just as the group was hitting its peak, thanks to a 2000 Vibe magazine article that sought to spotlight the Soulquarians, but sadly backfired. I was in Chicago for a D'Angelo show. Someone came up and tapped me on the shoulder. "Amir, it's Mos. Def. He wants to talk to you," Quest recalled in Mo Meta Blues. Mos said, "I'm not an Aquarian. Does that mean I'm not a real Soulquarian?" Later, Q-Tip called. "Yo," he said. "This article makes it look like I work for you." Then Erykah called, and she had a problem with the piece too. He added, "When I checked out the story, I could see their point. It was at that moment that I realized that the paradise I had imagined wasn't headed in a good direction."
Turn it up. They shoot. They score. Top of the hour sports talk on Coffee Talk. Presented by Spotify.
We back.
We don't give a fuck.
Good morning, everyone. This is Coffee Talk's Sports Talk, presented by Spotify. Okay, so here's something wild. Wilt Chamberlain once averaged 50 points and 25 rebounds per game for an entire season. That's not just dominance. That's rewriting the laws of basketball physics.
It's almost hard to believe, isn't it? And now, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the verge of breaking one of Wilt's records, it feels like we're being reminded all over again just how untouchable Wilt's legacy really is.
Exactly. Shai's streak of scoring at least 20 points in 126 consecutive games is impressive, no doubt. It shows consistency, skill, and a kind of quiet dominance. But when you stack that up against Wilt's streak, where he averaged nearly 50 points per game, it's like comparing a steady drum beat to a thunderclap.
And what's fascinating is how even today's players who are putting up incredible numbers themselves talk about Wilt almost like he's a mythical figure. Shai literally said it feels like Wilt wasn't real. That says so much about how far removed Wilt's accomplishments feel from what's considered possible in today's game.
It really does. And I think part of that is because Wilt's numbers are so outrageous that they almost feel like folklore. I mean, over his 126 game streak, he scored more than 6,000 points and grabbed over 3,200 rebounds. Those aren't just stats. They're like something out of a superhero origin story.
And then there's the fact that Wilt's records aren't just about scoring. His rebounding numbers are just as absurd. He holds the record for most rebounds in a game, a season, and a career. Over 23,000 career rebounds. That's a number that doesn't even seem real.
Right, and let's not forget his minutes played. Wilt averaged 48.5 minutes per game for an entire season. That's more minutes than there are in a regulation game. It's like he wasn't just playing basketball, he was redefining what it meant to be an athlete.
And what's so interesting is how modern players like Kevin Durant and Nikola Jokic are still in awe of Wilt. Durant talked about how he was fascinated by Wilt's stats as a kid, and Jokic actually went and looked up Wilt's highlights on YouTube. It's like they're trying to understand this larger-than-life figure who came before them.
I love that image of Jokic watching Wilt's highlights. He said he wanted to see how Wilt moved, how he played, and what made him so dominant. And his takeaway was so telling. Wilt wasn't just bigger and stronger than everyone else, he was also faster and more skilled. That's what made him so unique.
And Jokic even said he thinks Wilt could still dominate in today's game. That's such high praise, especially coming from someone like Jokic, who's redefining what it means to be a center in the modern NBA. It really makes you wonder how Wilt's game would translate to today's era.
It's such an interesting question. The game has evolved so much since Wilt's time, with more emphasis on three-point shooting and spacing. But Wilt was so versatile and so physically gifted that I think he'd still be a force. Maybe he wouldn't average 50 points a game, but he'd definitely be one of the best players in the league.
And then there's Joel Embiid, who actually broke one of Wilt's records with his 70-point game. It's fascinating how Embiid's connection to Wilt comes through Sonny Hill, this old-school figure who knew Wilt personally. Sonny's stories about Wilt really add another layer to the mythos, don't they?
Absolutely. Sonny Hill calling Wilt the Babe Ruth of basketball is such a perfect analogy. Babe Ruth is this larger-than-life figure in baseball history, and Wilt holds that same place in basketball. But it's also a little sad that Wilt doesn't seem to get the same level of reverence from modern players. Sonny Hill seems genuinely frustrated by that.
Yeah, it's almost like Wilt's legacy has been overshadowed by the passage of time and the lack of video footage. But when you hear players like Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo talk about him, you realize that his impact is still very much alive. Giannis learning about Wilt through the Bill Russell documentary was such a modern way to connect with history.
And Giannis's reaction was so relatable. Hearing Bill Russell talk about how hard it was to guard Wilt really puts things into perspective. When one of the best defenders of all time says it was almost impossible to stop you, that's saying something.
It really is. And I love that quote from Sonny Hill about Wilt saying he'd own the franchise if he played today. It's such a bold statement, but honestly, I believe it. Wilt was just so far ahead of his time in terms of his physical abilities and his understanding of the game.
And Durant's scouting report on Wilt was so spot on, calling him an athletic freak who could do everything. It's hard to argue with that. And Durant wishing he could have seen Wilt in real time really hit me too. Like, imagine being able to watch Wilt dominate in the same way we watch LeBron or Steph Curry today. It would have been incredible.
It really would have. And it's crazy to think that even if Shai breaks this 20-point streak record, Wilt's name will still dominate the record books. The consecutive 30-point games, 40-point games, 50-point games, they're all Wilt. And those rebounding records, forget about it. No one's touching those.
Yeah, Wilt's rebounding stats are just absurd. Over 23,000 career rebounds. That's a number that doesn't even seem real. And his minutes played. 48.5 minutes per game for an entire season. That's another record that's never going to be broken. It's like he was superhuman.
And I think that's what makes Wilt so fascinating. He wasn't just a great player, he was a phenomenon. His records aren't just numbers, they're a testament to how he redefined what was possible in basketball. And even though he's been gone for over 20 years, his legacy continues to inspire and challenge players today.
Absolutely. And I think that's the beauty of sports history. It's this ongoing conversation between the past and the present. Players like Shai, Durant, Jokic, and Giannis are all part of that conversation, and in their own ways, they're carrying on Wilt's legacy. It's a reminder that greatness, no matter how far removed, is always worth celebrating.
Wake up! Get up! We starting the day!
Let's get into it. Our top story of the day on Coffee Talk, presented by Spotify.
Turn it up! Let's go!
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, trainers, and welcome back to the Daily Catch. I'm your host, Marcus Thompson, bringing you the latest and greatest from the world of Pokémon Go. March 2026 is officially here, and with it, a brand new season aptly titled Memories in Motion. Get ready, because Niantic is pulling out all the stops this month, rolling out an incredible variety of events, challenges, and some highly anticipated Pokémon encounters. We're talking about everything from legendary raid rotations to a special 30th anniversary celebration of the Pokémon franchise itself, and even a unique crossover event. This month promises to keep every trainer, whether you're a seasoned veteran or just starting your journey, completely engaged. So, grab your Pokéballs, charge your devices, and let's dive into the packed schedule that awaits us in Pokémon Go. We've got a lot to cover, and you won't want to miss a single detail.
Kicking things off, let's talk about the formidable raid bosses that will be challenging us throughout March. The legendary trio of Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres have already made their grand return to 5-star raids, dominating from March 4th to the 10th. For those who missed them, now's your chance to complete your Kanto bird collection. Following this classic trio, we'll see the arrival of the formidable Zacian and his Hero of Many Battles form from March 11th to the 17th. Then, Zamazenta will step into the spotlight from March 18th to the 24th, followed by Regieleki rounding out the month from March 25th to the 31st. But the excitement doesn't stop there. March also marks the monumental 30th anniversary of the Pokémon series. From March 3rd to 9th, Pokémon first discovered in the Kanto region will appear more frequently in the wild, including these legendary birds. Keep an eye out for special hat-wearing Pikachu in raids, and by completing Go Pass milestones, you could earn double candy, XP, and even an encounter with the legendary Mewtwo. It's a nostalgic trip combined with incredible rewards.
Next up, we have a fascinating crossover event that's sure to grab your attention, the Poképia celebration. From March 10th to the 16th, Pokémon Go is celebrating the launch of Pokémon Poképia with a special in-game event. Get ready to encounter a new hat-wearing Ditto, alongside increased wild spawns of Sudowoodo, Zorua, and even the beloved Kanto starters, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. Plus, Lapras, Snorlax, and Dragonite will be appearing as 3-star raid bosses, offering some fantastic opportunities to bolster your team. And the bonuses are stellar. Double XP for spinning Pokestops, and an incredible 10 times the usual XP for your first spin during the event, not to mention increased odds of encountering shiny Sudowoodo and Zorua. Following this, get ready for March Community Day, starring Scorbunny, the Fire-type starter from Pokémon Sword and Shield. On March 14th, from 2 to 5 p.m. local time, Scorbunny will be abundant with increased shiny odds. Evolve a Scorbunny into Cinderace before 9 p.m. local time to get the exclusive move Blast Burn. This day also brings fantastic bonuses like quarter egg hatch distance, double catch candy, and reduced Stardust costs for trades. It's a perfect day for collecting, evolving, and trading.
Moving deeper into March, we have the return of the popular Bug Out event, running from March 17th to the 23rd. This year, trainers can look forward to the debut of Blipbug, appearing in 1-star raids, while other bug-type Pokémon like K.L.P, Scyther, and Dwebble will be more common in the wild. Special lure modules will attract different bug Pokémon, and you'll have increased chances of encountering shiny Paris, Combi, and Cutiefly when using them. So stock up on those lure modules. Shortly after, on March 21st, we dive into the Water Research Day. From 2 to 5 p.m. local time, water Pokémon such as Magikarp, Chinchou, and Marini will appear more frequently in the wild. You'll also have opportunities to catch Lotad, Phoebus, and Clamperl through field research tasks. And for a truly electrifying challenge, mark your calendars for March 28th. It's Gigantamax Pikachu Max Battle Day. This enormous, powerful Pikachu will appear as a 6-star boss at power spots from 2 to 5 p.m. local time. Look out for increased max particles, more frequent power spot refreshes, and an increased daily remote raid limit. It's a massive challenge with equally massive rewards.
Before we wrap up, I wanted to share a fantastic example of how Pokémon Go captures attention and drives action beyond just the game itself. Imagine this playing on your favorite radio station, designed to get you out and exploring. Let's listen to an example of an engaging radio advertisement for Pokémon Go, crafted to appeal directly to you, the trainer. Tired of the same old routine? Ready for adventure that fits right in your pocket? Get ready for Pokémon Go, the ultimate augmented reality game that transforms your world into a thrilling Pokémon adventure. Discover incredible Pokémon hiding right in your neighborhood. Our cutting-edge AR technology lets you see and catch Pokémon in the real world, turning every walk into an expedition. Plus, join forces with friends in epic raid battles against powerful legendary Pokémon, and hatch rare Pokémon eggs by exploring your city. It's more than just a game. It's a way to connect with your community, stay active, and relive the magic of Pokémon. Don't miss out on special events happening now, like the March Community Day featuring Scorbunny and the Gigantamax Pikachu Max Battle. These limited-time opportunities bring exclusive Pokémon and amazing bonuses. So, what are you waiting for? Download Pokémon Go for free today on the App Store or Google Play. That's Pokémon Go, G-O. Start your adventure, catch 'em all, and connect with millions of trainers worldwide. Pokémon Go. Adventure awaits. See how that ad builds excitement? It highlights the core benefits, creates urgency, and gives a clear call to action, all while using sound-friendly elements to paint a vivid picture for the listener. A truly effective way to reach a broad audience and remind them of the ongoing excitement in the world of Pokémon Go. It's about translating the immersive game experience into an auditory journey, making you feel the thrill even before you open the app. And remember, that call to action to download Pokémon Go for free today is crucial. We'll be back with more insights after a quick break. Stay tuned. As we approach the end of March, trainers, the excitement doesn't fade. Pokémon Go is set to close out this incredibly busy month with a mystery event, scheduled to run from March 31st into early April. While details are still under wraps, the promise of a mystery event only adds to the anticipation, ensuring that the Memories in Motion season continues to deliver surprises and fresh content for everyone. This continuous rollout of new Pokémon, challenging raids, and diverse events is precisely what keeps the Pokémon Go community thriving and engaged. It's a testament to the game's evolving nature and its ability to consistently offer new experiences. From the thrilling 5-star and Mega Raids featuring a rotation of powerful legendaries and Mega Evolved Pokémon, to the community-focused events like the Scorbunny Community Day, there's always something new to look forward to. And don't forget the smaller yet equally rewarding Spotlight Hours and special research days that punctuate the month, providing ample opportunities to catch rare Pokémon and earn valuable bonuses. Pokémon Go truly offers an endless adventure right at your fingertips, constantly refreshing its world and inviting you to be a part of it.
Thank y'all so very much. Happy Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode. Again, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're watching us on Spotify, the video version. Thank y'all. Y'all see the set. Y'all see the new. And also, thank you guys if you're listening on iHeart and Apple. Of course, Apple has this thing where they're getting ready to do video for us, where we're going to have the video version on Apple Podcasts. But we encourage people to listen to Spotify because Spotify's presenting our show. And if you're on YouTube, thank you all so very much. And if you're watching early access tonight, being Monday night, Thank y'all again. You guys can check us again for tomorrow at 8 a.m. If you missed a stream tonight, you can watch us again at 8 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please have a blessed and highly favored Tuesday. From peace, love, and respect from our entire cast and crew, this has been Coffee Talk presented by Spotify. I've been your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. We'll catch y'all in tomorrow's episode. Until then, stay safe, stay swanky. Peace.
We bringin' good energy.
This has been Coffee Talk presented by Spotify. From our cast, we thank you for listening.
Yeah.